Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Cane game. Let's get the show on the road. To be more specific, it's a Rhaast game. Yay, finally. So, I also want to use this time to talk about why I haven't really uploaded this month or streamed. Long story short, I'm moving soon to a different apartment, which I think will have better acoustics too, but mostly it's because it will be cheaper. And there is sad news involved in that. You guys all know about my two doggies, Jojo and Peaches. They kind of can no longer live with me, mostly because the new apartment doesn't allow them, and it's just kind of, how the way things go sometimes. So, thankfully, they will be with my family. One of them will be, and Jojo will be with somebody else who I can trust to take care of him. So, that's kind of been what's been mostly taking up a lot of my time during this month. So, I haven't really been able to upload or play or do pretty much of anything. Plus, work during the holidays is, hell on earth anyway, so that also ate up a lot of my time. Just a lot of stress this month. So, eh, either way, though, that is kind of how life is sometimes. So I'm hoping you guys have pretty good holidays and, things work out for you better than they are for me. But, anyways, time for some League of Legends. As you can see, my team is in a bit of a iffy situation. A few kills on the enemy side, 1 to 3. I'm not really able to gank very much or anybody. Mostly because either my lanes are pushing out an extreme amount, or they're in the process of constantly dying. So I'm trying my very best to steal what I can, use some pressure every now and then. In this case, Jax makes it very obvious he wants to get Kennen, so I'm just hanging about to try to steal it. As soon as he showed himself top, I go to his red buff, and I actually managed to steal it just as he's about to arrive. So that's pretty big, because it slowed him down a lot. His gank didn't produce anything, not even really any lane experience, because he didn't steal anything, and he wasn't farming, and I'm still a crucial monster. So it's a pretty big deal. However, though, my teammates are just kind of dying left and right. 1 to 6 so far. Looking at this composition, Rhaast was the only choice. If I went Anime Kane, sure I could possibly kill somebody in one shot, but they have a Zillion. If the Zillion is very quick on the trigger, he just completely nullifies my attempts, and then I just kind of will promptly die. And of course, Nasus is just kind of, he's being pinned down by the cannon quite a bit, but if Nasus gets a little bit too menacing, then, it's just kind of a doom right there. Same thing with Jax. So, I need to make myself a lot tankier and or at least be able to deal with bruises and whatnot. And Ross is the best option for that. And I know I missed my W in a very embarrassing fashion, and I kind of was forced to burn a flash in order to make sure I killed Pike. Also here, Brand really wasn't helping me a lot with this dragon. I almost died. So that's pretty unfortunate for me, but still, I was going to go home anyways. And then Jin and Brand died because their pathing was absolutely atrocious. So 3 to 10 so far. It's not looking very good. I'm also gonna take I was taking kind of a gamble with my build too, going with Duskblade, which normally you would want to go with Black Cleaver. And yes, I know I screwed up there and allowed Pike to steal my red buff. Sad day for me, kind of just having a really bad start for myself. I mean, I'm farming rather well, and at this point I have 2 kills and a lot of soul taken. I just need a bit more to be able to transform. And it doesn't really truly matter too much since I continue to steal Jax's red, just as he's about to arrive too, so it really hurts him. Unfortunately here, I fight him out, and my teammates just kind of, don't really react. So I die for basically very little, effort. I mean, Zillion burns his ultimate, but who cares? And then Pike just kind of throws his own life away. At this point, we're 4 and 12. My bottom lane is fighting because the brand no longer wants to help the Jin because they've died so many times. They're blaming each other. You get how solo queue is. Nobody accepts any sort of blame. But anyways, just a lot of bad plays and whatnot where, my teammates constantly get punished for either pushing out too far, trying to do some ganks. And here, I make sure I'm the only one getting these buffs. I get towered over the tower, and I do get dropped, but I do kill the Jax as well. They get this tower easily, and Nasus gets to go home alive. But you can tell it's looking pretty grim, 6 to 15. But we're getting scant kills every now and then. The farm of my team isn't completely atrocious. I mean, you can see the different. We're about equal in terms of CS if we put it all together and compare it. But obviously, kills are really really bad. Here, Jax comes in and he just kind of keeps making the same mistake against me, where he uses his stun. He preps it before my ultimate is wasted, so I easily just kind of dodge it or absorb. I absorb it with very little, punishment, or I mean, I absorb it without very little things coming back to bite me in the ass. Here, this does bite me in the ass. I missed my W, mistiming it, and just kind of not aiming it properly and not engaging on that well at all. So I get dropped for basically free. And, I burn an ultimate, but it doesn't really matter. And they get a dragon too. Though the brand at the same time was kind of very cowardly in that approach. Fortunately for me, we catch a Pyke who's, again, getting very, very brave and foolish, and he dies. And then it also leads to, I believe, a very kind of unsatisfying Xayah death because I get killed. I wasn't able to pop my ultimate very quickly, so, ugh. So we trade a 2-for-1, but it should have just been a 2-for-nothing. So at this point, the tilt is really getting to me. My whole team is tilted, to be very clear about that. So, yay. I finished a Duskblade, and I buy the stopwatch very quickly because it seems right now I can engage rather well and kill somebody, but usually I will get punished for doing so. My team's just kind of iffy. Also, that whole little instance right there was kind of funny because, a lot of things were missed and just the Zillion had a chance to survive. But yeah, stopwatch saves my life here, I believe. But, it's kind of ultimately wasted because if I didn't just walk that way, I would have been okay anyways. We catch Nasus, who at this point is, he's pretty behind in terms of CS because Kennen put a lot of pressure on him, but his Q isn't that weak. So you could have seen that he chucked me down quite a bit. It took 3 of us to take him down, and I almost still died. So that's pretty, terrifying at this point, where he can become a huge menace. But thankfully, Rhaast is really good at dealing with champions like Jax and Nasus, so it just gotta hold the fort. They engage, and they engage that extremely poorly, and they basically get dropped. 2 kills to Lissandra, so that's pretty good. Although, at this point, I kind of want all the kills on me. I don't, as much as Lissandra got buffed and some love, I still don't really like Lissandra's, I guess, contributions to the team because I just don't feel she's very mobile or effective without her ultimate. Thankfully here I had my ultimate and it helped me get a huge chunk of health back and not get destroyed with the Nasus. So he gets dropped, we give some awkward chase to Pyke, who just, stealth swims away, then comes back for some reason, pulling the Lissandra to him, which is extremely stupid, so because it gets some chain C slow down and eventually we bring him down. That was extremely dumb by the Pyke, because even though he got somebody hooked, I'm like, what was he going to follow that up with? Like, he wasn't going to kill anybody, and the amount of damage he would have dealt with to a full health Lissandra would have been so negligible in tantamount to the extreme risk he took. So it was just bad all around. I pick a fight with Jax because I know at this point his patterns are extremely predictable. He uses his E, obviously, and I just ult away from it and just destroy him before he gets any help. Again, he made himself extremely predictable, and therefore I can outplay him extremely easily, and it was just easy. At this point, I don't figure the Jax because he seems to be a player that I can bait, or my team can bait into making really bad decisions. Unfortunately here, the Kennen made the bad decision of just kind of farming mid for a while instead of immediately joining the fray and helping us just push them off the dragon, so they pretty much got a dragon with very little, effort. So, or very little resistance from my team. So, we have 1 dragon, they have 2 dragons. But at least the silver lining is that we're pushing the kills into a more even position. We catch the Nasus, give him an awkward chase, he fails his flash, and we bring him down. And then Xayah just shows up to do some kind of weird harassment, but it's a literal 3v1. Like, she gets too close and easily stop her, and this time I don't miss my W, and she just gets destroyed. I don't know what she was trying to accomplish there, because she knew she wasn't going to be able to kill anybody and we were around. So she just kind of died for no reason. Now the enemy team is going to try to make an awkward defense for top lane, but they seem rather uncoordinated here, and they're not really putting on much of a defense. Nasus gets too close alongside with Pyke, but without the rest of their team behind them, they're just kind of facing down a lot of chain CC. So chain CC Nasus destroy him. Then I use my ultimate on Pike. I don't know why I really did that because there was no advantage there. Jax jumps in, but again, he jumps into a bunch of crowd control and just gets destroyed. And I had Guardian Angel anyways, so that was not really worthwhile. So we get a lot of pretty much, effortless kills. They just kind of fed themselves to us. I'm going to try to flash, kill the Xayah here, miss entirely, embarrassing myself. But she gets close enough anyways to get destroyed by the Jhin with a flash, though. And, we get a turret and an inhibitor, and it's a big, big swing for my team. The rest of my teammates hung around for too long, but they still were able to kill a Pike for, a cheap kill on Pike. It's just kind of funny. They hung out a little bit too long, and they got rewarded for it. The enemy team at this point seems there's more nuance to making bad decisions, and we completely turned the tide. It's 23-20 now. The gold, as you can see in the replay, is favoring us, though not not by an extreme amount. So far, I'm not truly impressed by their bruisers, and as a result, I feel I could just completely walk all over them. And we do. We just kill Xayah, and Kennen comes in through the flank, and we just completely annihilate them. Jax is going to try to fight me, but, chain CC, we CC him down, and then we just destroy him. Yeah, at this point, the enemy team just kind of lost on the whole basis of my team having a lot of crowd control, a champion that feeds on bruisers, and them having really no means of getting to my dangerous teammates. Like, Brand just gonna chunk the hell out of their health and control them. And, Kennen, of course, just becomes this unkillable, well, not unkillable, but this weird, big old static field of death. And Lissandra, of course, is just kind of relatively unkillable in most cases. And, of course, me, I just eat their bruises' faces. Their team comp was just not really meant to deal with mine. In the laning phase, for sure, I guess. But when it came to team fights, my team has a lot of means of controlling their most dangerous targets and making sure to kill them pretty swiftly. Their lack of initiation, is probably their biggest weakness right now. My team doesn't have the best, but we have a lot of cheap means or alternative means to engage in some way. So I do love how I'm going to approach this. Well, not this situation here. I think this situation here is actually really bad. Because you're going to notice I'm going to get a little bit too brave. I have low health, and I'm going to be trying to sneak in for some damage, and I get myself caught off guard. Immediately killed. That's a really bad punish on me. And as a result, the rest of my team just kind of scatters about and are uncoordinated and slowly kind of picked off. The Xayah still dies, but Jax is revived by the Zillion, and my team sort of just get collapsed on and destroyed. Because now without a team effort, or without the team around, we're not able to take care of Nasus. However, for some reason, the enemy team just lets this turret go down for free, and they don't really push or go for Baron or something. My teammates did that just because they thought they were going to trade Baron for a couple tower and inhibitors, and there's no punish. So that was really bad call by the enemy team. I think they were very confused. But anyways, I'm trying to sneak from behind and catch the Xayah and the Zillion and immediately engage on them because they're by themselves. Just easily destroy the Xayah, they go on the Zillion, ult him, and I do not come out until the barrier is off, do a lot of damage. Jhin, shot him once, and then we destroy him. 2 kills for very little effort, and then Pike had come in at some point, and he got killed. So now it's 2 versus 5, and Nasus is going really gung-ho trying to chase this Kennen, but he just gets, kited a hell and back, and I join the fray, and eventually do bring him down. It's quite a bit of an effort, but he's still brought down. And with that, that's pretty much his game. The enemy team's coordination fell apart extremely hard once they were shown that, my team comp was a lot stronger and the laning phase ended. And as a result, we were able to bring this back from the brink of defeat and just, we'll claim victory. What else was I going to say right there? But yeah. Anyways, hopefully all of you had a great holiday and how you'll have a great New Year's. And, take care of yourselves. Yay. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos because YouTube and stuff.